Right, gang. So today we're going to be doing the opposite of what we've been doing. Instead of you having the function rule and getting the graph, I'm going to give you the graph and you have to come up with the function rule. Let's take a look. All right, so to write an equation of a line, you're first going to find the slope. Again, remember, you want to find the change in y over the change in x, how much it's increasing over how much it's going over, the rise over the run. All of those are ways that you could describe slope. Remember that triangle stands for change. Number 2, find the y-intercept. Again, remember the y-intercept is simply where the graph crosses the y-axis. And then third, substitute the slope, which is letter m, and the y-intercept, letter b, into y equals mx plus b. Now, keep in mind, you could also see it written as y equals b minus mx if the slope is negative. It could be written either way, though. All right, let's see what we got. So try the following. So for number 1, we have this line, and it's not so clear where it exactly crosses. So we got to look for some points on the graph that seem to cross exactly at a coordinate. So for example, this point right here crosses, this point right here crosses, this one right here looks like it crosses, and this one right here. So those are our points that we're going to use to figure out our slope. We can find the y-intercept, that's right here. So our y-intercept is 2. And then our slope, if we go from any point over to the next point, up and over, we can get our slope. So this would be 2 and 3. So our slope is 2/3 and our y-intercept is 2. Now, say we didn't go to 2 points that were exactly next to each other, and I went from this point here up and over to this point. This would be 4, and this would be 6. But 4, 6 simplifies to 2/3. So you just want to simplify it if you have a larger triangle. So in this case, our m is 2/3, and our b is 2. So our equation is y equals 2/3 x plus 2. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So here again, I need to look for points that seem to cross perfectly. So this line is a little bit off, so stay with me. This is going to be this point here, this point here, this point here, this point here, this point here. All of them cross. So I can pick any 2 points to find my slope. And my y-intercept is obviously right here. So from the origin, it's at -4. And if I go from any 2 points up and over, I have 4 over 4 here, which is 1 over 1, or just 1. So my slope m is 1, and my y-intercept, which is b, is -4. Writing it into our equation, y equals, no need for 1 for the x, so we just write y equals x minus 4. Okay, so I hope you're seeing where I'm coming up with these numbers. We're going to do a lot more practice, though. Let's see what's next. Number 3, again, we want to find points that seem to cross. So this point here crosses, this point here crosses, this point here crosses, this point here, this point here, and then this one down here, and this one down here. They're off a little bit, so when you're doing ones that I've made, try your best to just find the ones that are closest and stick with that pattern. All right, so here we have our y-intercept, and it's down at -5. And our slope from any one point to the next is going down and over. And it's going down 6, so that's -6, and right 3. So hopefully you see that with the other dots, that it looks like it's going down 2 and right 1. So -6/3 is equivalent to -2 over 1, making our slope -2, and our b, y-intercept, -5. So I could write my equation as y equals -2x minus 5, or y equals -5 minus 2x. Either are acceptable answers. All right, let's look at number 4. Again, start by looking for points that seem to cross. So this point here, and this point here. We see that the y-intercept is this point right there, and that's up at +5. Again, this is going downhill from left to right. So we take those 2 points, down 1 and over to the right. 4 is the same as negative 1 over 4. So my slope is negative 1/4 and my y-intercept is positive 5. So my function rule is y equals negative 1/4 x plus 5 or y equals 5 minus 1/4 x. Either answers are acceptable. Okay, again, hopefully you're getting this and you see how all of these numbers are coming into play. All right, let's see what we got next. 5 and 6. Okay, so for number 5, again, we want to look for points that cross. This one here, this one here, this one here, and follow the pattern. This one here should cross. Okay, so now our y-intercept is this point right here, which is negative 1. And our slope is between any 2 points. So we can go from here up and over to here, which is up 3 and over 2. If I decided to go from here up and over to here, it would be up 6 and over 4. 6/4 is equivalent to 3/2. So we keep 3/2. Our m slope is 3 over 2, which is equivalent to 1.5. But when we're talking about slope, we want to see it as a fraction. So if it's an improper fraction, that's okay. And our b is negative 1. Writing our equation, we have y equals 3/2 x minus 1. Okay, number 6, again, looking for points that cross here, here, and here. And there's one more way up here. We have our y-intercept right here at positive 3. And then we take some points to figure out the slope. So if we go down and over, it's down 4 and over 1. So my slope is negative 4. And my y-intercept b is positive 3, making my equation y equals negative 4x plus 3 or y equals 3 minus 4x. Either are appropriate. Now remember, at any time, if you feel like I'm going too fast, you can pause the video so you can catch up. 7 and 8. So for number 7, again, look for those points that cross. We have this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here, and one more down here. Our y-intercept is this point up here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 5. Then going from any 2 points down 3 and over 1, which makes our slope negative 3 over 1 or just negative 3, and our y-intercept be positive 5. So my equation is y equals negative 3x plus 5 or y equals 5 minus 3x. Over to the next one. Again, look for those points that are crossing. Looks like this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So our y-intercept is this point here. Lucky number 5 today seems to be the one of choice. Then from any 2 points up and over, up to over 3. So our equation is y equals 2/3 x plus 5. And I didn't write it down, but the m is 2/3 and the b is 5. The y-intercept is 5. The slope is 2/3. So you guys are now on your own. You're going to try problems 9 through 14. I'll be around to help you out. Don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask questions.